Hello, my dear students. This is Sreesha S. Kumar, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce General. Today, I am with a topic from financial management, that is working capital management. So, before going into the topic, I would just like to sum up what are the basic concepts which is covered under financial management, of which one of the topic which I have taken today is working capital management. So financial management basically deals with all the financial decisions, which is most important decisions which is taken in the management of a company. Now, as a company is concerned or a firm is concerned, we have different important decisions to take to manage the finance, of which the major decisions are actually capital structure decisions, then investment decisions, financial decisions, then dividend decisions, and working capital decisions, cash management decisions, inventory management decisions. So, all these decisions that a manager of or the management of a firm should take, which is very vital to the management of finance of a company. Out of which I have taken a small topic, that is working capital management, but it is a very important topic when we consider the sources of funds of a business. This stands as a most important source of finance of a business. So going into detail, what is working capital management? So when we take working capital as it is, what is meant by working capital as it is means, in a layman language, what we can say is working capital means it is an expense which is needed for the day-to-day organization of a business. So you already know that in a business there will be a day-to-day daily expenses, routine expenses. For meeting that expense, we definitely need source or funds for managing that, so that our production is continuously taken off and we can get the organizational goals. So that is what working capital means. Now managing that working capital means we have to manage or find out the source for that working capital, how much working capital is needed for the company, how much is the day-to-day expenses of a business, and then afterward we have to find out the different sources from where we can get these or we can arrange the funds for meeting the working capital requirement of the business. Now when we take working capital management as it is, we will learn these things in this chapter. Firstly, I will just explain what is the term working capital, what is net working capital policies, working capital management, then how to calculate the working capital, and based on the working capital required, what is operating cycle, and what is the estimation of working capital for a business, what is the risk and return when we consider or when we study in detail different working capital policies, how it is impacting on our risk return and the various different working capital financing policies. And at last we are identify the factors which is majorly influencing the working capital requirements. So in this whole topic we are learning these many, and at the end of the chapter you will be able to learn all these subtopics inside working capital management. So moving on to the next, what is working capital actually? I have already told before. It is basically the expenses which we have to focus for our day-to-day requirement of a firm. Now, when we take deeply into it, it simply comprises or consists of inventories. Inventories, as you all know, that is stock. Then, secondly, it is accounts receivable. Accounts receivable means it is the debtors. That is the person who owe us money. That is known as accounts receivable. Then third is cash. Fourth one is accounts payable, that is simply our creditors. That is the payment that we have to make to our suppliers, that is accounts payable. So working capital simply comprises of these four elements, and these four elements role. What is the role of these four elements in working capital only? We are going to learn in detail. Moving on to the next, what are the objectives of working capital management? So basically these are the objectives. Certain levels of working capital are required for the firm to operate efficiently, as a low level of working capital may expose the firm to additional risk. So when we estimate our working capital, we should always have adequate amount of working capital so that you are not facing a risk. Because if you are keeping a very low level of working capital, then definitely it will affect your production. And the second point is it is formally, if we have to find out an optimal working capital amount, and for that you need to have a definite working capital policy you should follow, so that your production is not standing still, so that you can reduce your risk. So these are the two basic important objectives of working capital. So when again I'm taking the objective in separately, so that we can match this objective to the problems that we are going to learn next. So certain level of working capital are required to the firm to operate efficiently, as a low level of working capital may expose the firm to additional risk. Now how we will, the question arises when we have to look into this objective, the question arises how we will maintain, how we can forecast this working capital. So the two questions are arising. uh, how you can estimate, how much frequency you can estimate, what is the amount that a financial manager has to set aside for meeting a working capital requirement. So these questions are there. For how many days you need working capital, for how many days I should forecast, and for what is the amount exactly that I should estimate for meeting the working capital requirement. So for that, we are actually all the financial managers of the firm. They have two different policies. One is they will estimate the operating cycle, or otherwise we are known as, it is known as the working capital cycle. They will simply estimate the working capital cycle. That means for how many days I should generate cash in order to meet, or in order to meet our day-to-day requirements. So, when we look into deep into this, see, management goal should be to shorten the working capital cycle by as much possible without affecting the efficiency of operations. This simply means that we should never a management objective or goal should be, you should never stop the production. The ongoing, the cash cycle or the working capital cycle should be keep on continuously, it should keep on working, so that the production is not coming under a standstill. So for that, for maintaining that continuity, what a manager or financial manager has to forecast is, we should predict a proper operating cycle. Now this operating cycle is calculated based on a very simple equation. We have two basic policies. One is on estimation of operating cycle, and second is estimation of working capital requirement in terms of amount. So first we will see how we are estimating the working capital cycle. Now, this is a very important concept, that is working capital cycle, how we are estimating. So when we see it is starting as a cycle. That is, firstly, with the use of cash, we are purchasing the raw material. It starts with the purchase of raw material only. So when we purchase a raw material, definitely we need cash. So by the usage of cash, we are first purchasing the raw material. With the help of raw material, we are purchasing the raw material, and after that, with the use of raw material, we are going into the production, we are making the finished products as it is. After the final product is done, the final product is ready for the sales. Now when we put that particular final product into sales, definitely we have two options. Either the person, the say person is having, either he can sell the product directly into cash, or definitely there will be some debtors means there will be many customers who is not able to pay for that finished product. So he will definitely ask us an option for a debit option. Debit option means he will ask us for credit. So when you make a sales for credit, definitely there arises a debtors. So the operating cycle after the sale of finished products, the operating cycles has two options. Either it can directly convert into cash, or it have to first convert into debtors, and after 1 or 2 months that debtors will automatically convert into cash. Again the cycle is repeating. Again you have taken back your cash again with the use of cash, you are getting the raw material, making into the finished product, then you are going for the sale again you have two options. So this cash cycle, this is called cycle, and this cash cycle should continuously rotate, so that your productions are going through efficiently and effectively. So this is what is mentioned in this particular slide. If you see in detail, you can see the firm orders raw material inventory and then receives the raw material inventory. Then next you can see, for a manufacturing company, Labor and other processes are used to convert the inventory into finished goods, which lead to a reduction of cash. Then again, you can see the next, that is sale of finished goods on credit, which will result in accounts receivable. Accounts receivable means debtors. So it is optional only. Some customers will pay you the cash directly. Some will definitely ask you for credit. Now, if creditors are there, the creditors are paid. Then the last one is a completion of cycle when cash is received from the debtors. At this point, the firm is ready to repeat the cycle. The cycle should continue. I hope this is clear for you. Now, this is what is known as the operating cycle or the working capital cycle. Now, based keeping this theory on mind, we will just go through a simple problem or the equation. So, based on this concept, the equation is formulated. What is the concept is working capital cycle is calculated on the basis of the number of inventories or the number of inventories, that is the stock. What is the days that has been taken for converting that particular raw material into stock, actual stock. Okay, then receivables, that is stock which is converted into raw material to work in progress, from work in progress to actual finished products, and from the finished products to debtors, that is receivables. That is how many days it has taken from finished product stage to convert it into debtors. That is, if debtors are there, then how many days it has been taken, and if it is made for directly into the cash, then that receivables will not come. Now, when as an FA manager or as a management a manager in that particular company, if we are paying, no, at the same, you are having debtors as well as you are at the same time you are having creditors also. Now, what is creditors means, I have an option to get the raw material in credit also. So at that time, I will become creditors. And after the final product I have made, that finished clothes, if I am selling, at that time, at the point, if I am selling it for credit, then at that time, I have debtors. So we have two things. When we are receiving, when we are owing from some, when our customers are owing to us, that is debtors. And if we are owing to someone, that is known as creditors. So obviously, all the first three categories will be added together, that is our inventories, that is after from the purchase of raw material which is getting converted into final product, we will have number of inventory days, what is the days it has been taken for converting into raw material, for converting into work in progress, and how much days it has been taken for converting into debtors. And if you are owing money to someone, then it will become your payment. That is the reason why it has been deducted. Have you seen that this is being deducted? So that is actually known as, so this is the form, this is the concept where this formula has been derived. Now there is a small simple problem here. Probans is a company purchases on credit materials to purchase a product, and they have 90 days to pay for the raw material. So they have 90 days to pay. That means that you have to pay within 90 days, you have to pay. You have you have purchased the raw material for credit only. It is given very clearly that it is made on credit, and they have given you a 90 days period to pay that material cost, raw material cost. Oh, you have taken, the company has sell its inventory, that is you have made that particular raw material into finished products in 85 days on an average, and it receives the payment from the customers. And after the sale has been done from the customers, after the sales you have received, you have to receive the debtors. You have given payment, that is a period that you have given to the debtors is 20 days on an average. So how you calculate the working capital cycle is, see, first is inventory days, how many days you have taken, it is given, it is 85 days. That is raw material conversion from the actual raw material to the finished products, how many days you have taken is 85. After sales, what day number of days you have given to your debtors, that is 20 days. And what is your payable, that is 90 days. So obviously, how you will calculate this, as the above equation suggests, 85 plus 20 days minus 90 days, that will be your operating cycle. See, the answer is given here in the next slide. See, working capital cycle, that is 85 plus 20 minus 90, you have received 15. So this means that the company is not out of pocket of cash for 15 days before receiving full payment. That is, the company now he has ample amount of cash. 15 day, that is 15 days he is having. So one operating cycle, for finishing one operating cycle, that company in short is taking 15 days. So you just think that in a year 365 days are there, means how many number of cycles he has to repeat, so that he has to repeatedly perform his production activity without any stoppage. So this is one method, this is one major method, which is known as working capital cycle. Now we will move on to the second method. The second method is estimation of working capital. Estimation of working capital means you are just estimating. Now at the before, in the before slides, what we have seen is we have computed in terms of days. Now with the help of these days, we are converting that particular need into amount. Now as a financial manager, I should know how much is the amount I should set aside for working capital management. I know that for converting or for completing one cycle, I need 15 days or 20 days. So definitely I can forecast. So I can in hand, I can estimate, or I can find out, this many days is there for me. So I can see that, oh, I have to arrange this much amount and I have 15 days more. So you can, the cycle is now you know. But the now second step is you should know how much amount I have to set aside. You know number of days. Now the second question arises, how many, what is the, how much amount? What is the quantity of amount, or what is the amount percentage or estimate that I should keep aside for meeting this working capital or for completing this operating cycle. So these are the strategies. So which comes under working capital strategies and cash flows. For that, I have just shown you one simple example, a sum. You can go through that. The question is X Limited has budgeted its sales for 7 lakh per annum. It cost a percentage of sales as raw material is 20 percentage, direct labor is 35, overhead is 50. And the raw materials carried in stock for 2 weeks. That is the raw material carried, the stock to be converted, the raw material which is converted in, it is taking the period of 2 weeks. Finished products are held in stock before sales. That is working from work in progress to finished products, there is some time needed. That time is 3 weeks. So from raw material purchase to the stock conversion, you need 2 weeks. For finished products and held in stock, just once again I will show you in detail. See this, the raw materials in stock, they have taken 2 weeks. And from that raw material to the finished products for making, they have taken before sales, it has been not sold before sales, for that they have taken 3 weeks. X Limited takes 4 weeks credit from suppliers and gives 8 weeks. So now what is this 8 weeks? See, X Limited takes 4 weeks credit from suppliers. That means you have taken credit from the suppliers for purchasing the raw material. For this purchase of raw material, you have taken 8 weeks. So that will obviously, as we have discussed above in the above slides, that is obviously your creditors. So you have X Limited takes 4 weeks credit from the suppliers and gives 8 week credit to its customers. So 8 weeks credit to the customers means it is forming as debtors. That will be your debtors. And 4 weeks from your suppliers means that will be your creditors. This will be your debtors. So 8 weeks will form as your debtors and the 4 weeks will be your creditors. If both overheads and productions occurred evenly throughout the year, what is X Limited total working capital requirement? So you have been given the days. That means in short, you have given the operating cycle in the question. With the help of the operating cycle, you have to estimate the amount that you have to set aside for working capital so that you can plan. Oh, I have this much days. Now how much amount I have to set aside? That how much amount we have to estimate. That we will see in the next slide. See, they have seen, see, annual cost is given, raw material it is already 7 lakh. It is 7 lakh. 1 second. Yeah, it is 7 lakh. The raw material is 7 lakh. So 7 lakh, and per unit cost it is already, it is given in the question. So 0.20 percentage it is already given in the question. So it is 1 lakh 40. Likewise labor, this is also given in the question. So the total cost, annual cost is 2 lakh 40. Overhead is given in the question as 15. So when we multiply it, you are getting the overhead annual cost as 1 lakh 5,000. Now we will see working capital statement. This is how you will prepare the working capital statement. we will always start with stock. That is this operating cycle, how I have shown you before, no? That from there only it will start. Stock of raw material. First you purchase the raw material, so that will come first. Stock of raw material. The total annual cost is 1 lakh 40. And as before we have seen, raw material, they have given us how many days for conversion. Raw material conversion period is 2 weeks. Since it is given weeks, we will take 52 weeks, because in 1 year 52 weeks are there. If it is given days, we will do 2 divided by 365. If it is given months, then we will do 2 divided by 12. So since in the question it is given weeks, we have to divide it by 2 divided by 52. So the answer will be 5385. So material is over. Now work in progress. So material, labor and all overheads will come under work in progress only. So we can take one by one. Already we have found out material 1 lakh 40. Yeah, that is again 4 by 52 it is given. Labor for 2 lakh 45,000 we have calculated, and 4 by 52 because it is given 4 weeks. So it is 4 by 52. Already it is given in the question. Half of the, that is equal amount is being distributed for labor and overhead. It is already given in the question. So that equal amount means half half we have to distribute among both equally for labor as well as overheads. So overheads also 1 lakh 5,000, again 4 weeks, half of that amount. So this will come when we add the three work in progress. That is when we add material, labor, overheads, you will get 2 lakh 20, 24,230. Now work in progress is over. Now we are finally coming to finished goods. So by using the raw material, for raw material you need to set aside this much amount. You have to estimate this amount. Working capital conversion period, if we take based on the period, this much amount you have to set aside. Now coming to finished goods, 4 lakh 90,000 is our finished goods. When we add all the three, you will get 4 lakh 90,000 as sales, which is already given. Sales 4 lakh 90,000 is given into how many weeks is there? 3 weeks. It is already given in the question. 3 by 52. Debtors conversion is given. We have given that. For customers, how much weeks we have already given? 8 weeks we have already given. So 7 lakh into 8 by 52. Creditors, we have already given the period. 1 lakh 42. 1 lakh 40 is the raw material cost, because for this raw material only we have bought it for credit. So 1 lakh 40. 4 weeks they have given. For customer, for the suppliers, they have given us, our suppliers has given us 4 weeks to pay back that particular credit. So 4 divided by 52. And why this particular amount is given in minus? Because this is payment that we have to make from the management side or from the financial manager. Here he has to pay this amount, as it is creditors, we have to pay it. So either you can write it here less, put less, and then you can minus it from here, or as it is shown here, you can just put a bracket here and then minus it. So when we add all these things and minus 10,769, you are getting a working capital requirement of 1,54,807. Now this is actually what is the sum. So doing is very easy. The what is the interpretation from this sum is, you need actually 1,54,807 rupees for completing one operating cycle. And you know how many days? As before, in the before sum, if you remember, we have I will just show you. In the before sum, we have, in working capital cycle, when we see we need for completing one cycle, we need 15 days. Suppose you think, so you got two questions. Well, how many days you need, want to need, or how many days you need for completing one cycle, or to find out ample amount of cash, how many days you have actually in your hand? That is 15 days. Now what is the estimation that you have made? How much is the requirement that is needed? You have to find out this much amount, or set aside this much amount. What is that amount? 1,54,807 you need to set aside, and you have in your hand 15 days in hand. So you can definitely plan, because as soon as the cycle is going to towards the end, you know that when we moving on the cycle, after the sales, the debtors, we are giving some days to finish. And that particular, at that point of time, we can really estimate, because we need to find out the source of 1,54,000 finance. 1 lakh, around 1,54,000. Just if I'm rounding off, if I'm telling 1,50,000 rupees, you need to keep or set aside before starting the second cycle. So first cycle itself, you have estimated Before completion of the first cycle, you have estimated for the second cycle to continue, you definitely need 1,54,807 in your hand, so that you can continuously go means continuously you can proceed your operating cycle, and without stopping the production, you can continuously proceed with the operating cycle. So in short, what is the estimation of working capital that you have done? That is 1,54,807 rupees you need for completing one operating cycle, and that one operating cycle will take 15 days to complete. So I hope this particular concept is clear for you. I will just review once again. We have learned what is working capital, what is the meaning of working capital, what is there, what are the components of working capital inside it, and what are the policies that we are following, the strategies. We have two strategies to follow. One is operating cycle method, and second is estimation of working capital requirement. Operating cycle method, through the operating cycle. For manufacturing firm, one operating cycle is there. For trading firm, another cycle is there. And second is, with the help of operating cycle, you are finding out in days. And secondly, with the help of the days, or with help of weeks, or which is given, whatever it is given in the question, with the help of these days or with the help of the period, you are estimating the working capital requirement for an year. So I hope this video is useful for you. Thank you. Have a good day.